Like I said, considering the opponent, the offense you're up against, 4 touchdowns, will you take it?
Oh, it's tough to say. You know, the task is to hold them to less points than we score, and ultimately that is not what we got done. Yeah, we gave up 28 points when we were on the field, and that wasn't good enough this week. So we got to be better next week.
First 3 quarters, there were a lot of plays like that first touchdown where destiny almost gets him, but because Jared Goff's a good quarterback, he was able to squeeze one off.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, you guys started getting home. What changed there?
Oh, I don't think there's a magic answer. I mean, some of those things, again, like you mentioned, you give him credit. I mean, that's what you saw on film, and that's kind of there's a number of things that make him special, but he's a knack for timing as much as anything else, timing and then the location of the pass. So to suggest that it was, specific calls or anything like that, I certainly wouldn't point to any. I think at times, if you got a little tighter coverage at times, it makes him maybe a little less sure in terms of where to direct the football. And so I think some of those things may have taken place, and ultimately probably some of it is simply guys making plays.
You held them over 100 yards below their usual rushing total, and with the exception of that one run,
right,
like a 2-yard average.
Right.
What was working today?
Well, I think a little bit more of a commitment to discipline. We're quick to judge our guys when they show a lack of discipline, and I think overall you saw a little bit more disciplined defense, and that's what good defenses do, specifically versus the run. And without question, I think that's a positive. And you're fighting to find positives, on a Sunday after a loss. But I certainly think that that was one, and without question contributed to our opportunity to be in a ball game in the fourth quarter.
Interesting challenge for you coming up this week. You have to prepare for 2 quarterbacks, maybe even 3. Are they pretty different players, or can you kind of use the same scout on both?
Well, I think they're all similar in that they do what they do offensively, and there's a lot of run pass option and a lot of I guess quote unquote option principles. So when you watch it, you don't necessarily get when quarterback X is in the game versus quarterback Y, that there's we're going to run him more, throw him more, and some of those things. They lean on the run because they're good at it. I think they're the top rushing offense in our conference and one of the top rushing offenses in the country. So another major challenge.
Other than just being one of those really superlative athlete running backs, is there anything that makes Royce Freeman special?
Well, it's the combination of size and speed, and not many guys have it, and he's one that does, to get the extra yards, but also the ability to make you miss. So very, very challenging in their scheme, because so often they're trying to get one-on-one, a lot of people try to get one-on-ones in pass situations. They try to get one-on-ones in the run game, where you got kind of solo tackle opportunities. So as best you can, you got to rally, and hopefully not be in scenarios too often where you got only one guy in a position to make a tackle on.
Sure, thanks.
Coach, when you talk about the game, there was some good and some bad. How do you mix praise with criticism going into the next week?
Well, that's just it. What you got to do, I think you got to point out every single correction, because there certainly were plenty. It also doesn't do us any good to ignore the positives, because that's ultimately we want more of those. And so when we talk about 2 takeaways, we had opportunities for more. Obviously, the glaring one late in the game in the fourth quarter that could have even been points if we could have located it on the 4-yard line. But 2 takeaways, 3 fourth-down stops, which were real positive. A shutout in the fourth quarter. Reacted to adversity pretty well in sudden change situations. The lone exception was after the on the stat sheet. I think they were 0 for 2 in sudden change, and probably 1 for 3 if you count the onside kick. I don't think we responded real well there, but certainly all those things you got to highlight, because you want more of it, and then we got to encourage those type of performances in those certain areas.
What has Marcellus Pippen shown you in the first couple of weeks? He's got 2 interceptions now in the season.
Well, I think he's doing a nice job of committing to technique, and it's funny when you commit to technique and you show an understanding of a coverage, it's funny how the ball will find you, you know, and when you don't use technique, you have, you know, undisciplined eyes, you don't show awareness in the coverage, the ball typically finds the offense. And so, you know, in every scenario, it's you know, a young player in our program, you know, committing to doing the fundamentals of the position, and he's being rewarded for it, and we're being rewarded as a defense. So, been pleased, and it's got to continue.